All right. Well, whether I am ready or not, here we go. Okay, let's kick off. Oh no. Bear with me 1 second. I messed up the stream on Instagram. Give me one moment here, folks. I apologize. Now this one, 100% is on me. But we get to just sit here and hang out. Fancy that. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. We're getting this sorted. I ended up using the actual Instagram link for something else, and that canceled it. So let's remove, edit, and it's now fixed. I appreciate your patience. Patience truly is a virtue, is it not? So I got more humble pie here to eat in just a second. It's not going live. Okay, now it is. So I gotta apologize to each and every one of you. Where's Chris? It's a very good question. Let's just say there was some miscommunication, but I'm not here to point fingers. I will take all the responsibility. It is interesting. I like being in Arizona where it's Mountain Standard Time. Our time doesn't change. I actually feel it seems like everyone in these time zones that do all these funky things don't like it. They would actually like to adopt our model here and just be the same all the time. I'm in agreement, especially because it keeps leading to these errors. So I need to become more effective as to finding out specifically the time difference with these other individuals. I need clear communication because I don't live there. I could look things up, but often, like EST, ET, there's like two differences out there. And it seems I got this one wrong. And it's led to missing the time window to have Chris with us here today. In fact, it seems like he may in fact hate me. He may be upset. I would challenge Chris and other individuals to see past pride and ego and see how we effectively could team up together to the benefit of like what is really our mission here. I want to voice publicly, I value extremely all of my guests' time, energy, efforts. So whether we're going to have Chris on or not, I still value a lot as to what he is doing in his personal life. And he seems to be doing pretty darn good at that, even being potentially financially successful, more so than us here. So there's a lot we could even learn from what he's built out. So let's go ahead and continue. I'm going to do a screen share here. Right here. SDN News. Survival Dispatch News. SDN. He's kicked off this podcast. I like it. Right here. That's potentially something you guys could let me know. Should I get more structured? It would be a great challenge with the fluctuations of Lyme disease, but a built-out schedule could be more so beneficial for all of you. Let me know your thoughts. So he's exposing truth bombs. It's actually even quite impressive as to, I haven't checked out much of his content, but this episode here, how he's had, we could even read the description here. How he had Todd Savage U.S. Marine Corps retired. U.S. Marine Corps private intel contractor. CIA operative. A Green Beret retired. And then obviously himself, the CEO of Survival Dispatch. So he's actually been bringing some pretty powerful guests on his podcast. Tell me your secrets. No. So he's doing great. He's exposing a lot. And it's individuals like this that entirely replace the talking heads. They're pretty much up on the deep state versus Donald Trump. You could just read all these titles. They're showing up with real news. He's created a Patreon. Is this something that our listeners here might respond powerfully to? Looks like he's acquired 51 members, 23 posts. This obviously becomes a way to gain funds and continue doing what we're doing. Now, look at people's intents. Are they genuinely doing it to ensure a better tomorrow? I'm sure individuals like this, yeah, that's a part of the plan. Are they doing it to get rich? Are they doing so? Discernment's important. But what are your guys' thoughts? If we actually, I'll give this some thought. If I can actually provide additional value to a build out like this in a Patreon, it's definitely something I'd consider, kicking off in the future. I'm not stinking sitting here asking for handouts, but he's built out a web page here. I like it. Insider, community, connect. And then he's built out all the links to everything he's engaged in. My hat's off. Regardless, there's a lot of work, I know, that goes into these things. So to build out actual financial streams to it all, that could ensure we continue not just doing what we're doing, but that we become unpurchasable. Like in a category of the unbought, the unmuzzled, not controlled. But it takes support from the masses, really, to continue doing that. So I hope on this live, I apologize to Chris. I value his time. And I would love to reschedule all this out. It seemed like we still had window of opportunity, but I don't know. I can get the frustrations with a miscommunication and how pride and ego would have you just point the finger to the other individual and not claim any responsibility. And just like, well, you're done. I'm a busy man, and just excuse yourself. And it would lead to missed opportunities to actually blessing lives. So we'll see where intentions truly lie, but we would love to have them on. I was excited to plug the Forgotten Soldiers and also team them up with everything Chris has built out, because it's all part of the same mission if intentions are actually aligned. These are the most selfless men I stinking know. I challenge all my listeners to just look up the Forgotten Soldiers on this very episode. I don't believe there are links in this description. I will add it. There's my note, so I don't forget, because I'm human. And the things that they're supporting, such as this right here, military accountability. I'm going to add this link for you folks as well, because the petition right here by We the People will ensure, if enough of us get on board, check this out. I don't think this page actually loaded correctly. Yeah, it did not load correctly. Well, I apologize, but I'll add the link in here so you can actually read the document yourself and get on board, create the momentum to secure our futures. Let's go. Now, that being said, without Chris to capture his story and what has led him on the path to do everything he's doing, folks, we are going to wing it. But I do sincerely apologize to you. We're still going to stick to this live. We're still going to stream. We're still going to plug everything Chris is doing, whether there's future relations or not. If you find the content he's providing useful and helpful and building momentum, then support him. Okay. I'm just going to check something one quick sec. Yeah, it looks like we're good there. So, shout out to Caitlin. I appreciate all the Unmuzzled chat warriors that are tapping in behind the scenes and reaching out to me personally or shooting emails or have found me on these social media platforms, and they continually send me links and content. A lot of it already come across, but it is through like the community essentially. Wow, what is wrong with my, it's like I'm burpy today. I apologize. But it's through the community. Like, no one can shoulder the burden, and as we gather this information together, it's going to provide us more direction on solutions and bringing awareness. This clip is pretty powerful. Vaccine secrets. What parents should know before they vaccinate their kids. No parent should be vaccinating their kids. No one. We've been duped into believing as though that is a layer of protection for them when it is in fact not. There are more negative reports, and you know what? Don't be fooled by the propaganda right here. So let's go ahead and give this one a listen.
Vaccines be dangerous. I was born in 1967. I got all of my shots and I'm fine. But did you receive all of these?
No.
Are all these safe? Are they effective? Do they improve children's health? Let's find out.
No.
Does the FDA test vaccines for safety? The answer is no.
Right there. There's your answer. Right there. Do you need to go further? Well, let's go further.
Has the entire vaccine schedule for kids been safety tested? The answer is no.
Right there. Do we need to go further than that? No. If we actually properly absorbed that and verified that, which I have you? You wouldn't even consider it. And you would communicate these facts. You know what? Let's add Vaxed 1 and 2 since we're touching on this. Vaxed 1 and 2 on BitChute. It's been on our last 2 previous episodes, but let's add it in this because we got to be able to provide the receipts and the actual facts and the actual data and information that will lead to life-saving care. The children that are receiving any of these are losing function and more horrific things and, in fact, dying. Do not roll the dice with that. Has the entire vaccine schedule for kids been safety tested? No. Do not be fooled by the true propagandists. On this very talking point, leads into everything during the pandemic, leads into everyone behind it. Who's all behind pressuring children to get the shots? Our government is. Because they've put mandates and requirements for public schools. actual Western medicine and their role in all this, big pharma. You could look into the money, into the doctrination, into our actual medical staff and doctors and everything right here in this country. And it is horrific. They're fulfilling big businesses' interests, not ours, not our health and wellness. And under the guise of health, wellness, healthcare, care services, protections, medicines, golly, they're achieving great business to our detriment, not our health. Let's wake everyone up so we can naturally gain the resilience to expose everything and end this horrific cycle of corruption that has only been getting worse in this country.
Today, a child receives 50 doses of 14 vaccines by the age of 6.
Wow. 50 by the age of 6. It breaks my heart. They shouldn't even get one of them. One's too poisonous. One has led to death, to a great epidemic. Even, why is my brain not firing? God, give me the words, give me the clarity. Let's help sound the alarm to people's benefits. But autism, heavily attributed to singular, the earliest of these damning shots.
Received 69 doses of 16 vaccines by the age of 18. But the
I heard it was over 80 from some reports, but 69.
Safety of this entire vaccine schedule has never been tested, which
absorb that. The entirety of that schedule has never been tested by design. Because if real data, which we have the real data, was relatively available, if it was blasted, then we would tear down these institutions. We would even seek accountability. But we definitely wouldn't line up or take our children in to get these.
Leads to the question, are all these vaccines safe for American kids? The truth is, we don't know, because no one has safety tested the whole schedule. So our kids are the guinea pigs. Do vaccine makers use placebos to test the safety of their vaccines for kids? No. Do vaccines contain any dangerous ingredients? Yes. Aluminum, mercury, and formaldehyde. Or how about genetically engineered substances like recombinant human albumin?
Holy smokes.
Well, they're all common ingredients for vaccines, along with industrial chemicals like sodium phosphate and sodium borate, which is basically borax. Do vaccines contain DNA and protein from aborted fetuses? Yes.
All right, morally, that's messed up. Can you see why the whole abortion thing is not an organic movement? There's incentivized, they are incentivized, and there's a whole money bracket. It's wild how whole Planned Parenthood, in fact, got exposed on this, and they talked about buying Lamborghinis, all these things, because all the money they were making on these aborted fetuses, on murder, it is a play on our minds that are far too effective, especially in our younglings, that it's their right. No one has a right to commit murder.
The vaccine makers admit it in writing. For example, Merck says that parts of cells from an aborted human fetus are in the chickenpox portion of their MMR chickenpox vaccine.
They say it themselves when you actually do research.
Are vaccines allowed by the government to have side effects? The ideal answer would of course be no, but the real answer is yes.
Wow.
Do vaccine makers have to compensate victims when their vaccines injure a child? The answer is no.
That is egregiously unacceptable. Just because they gain government protections, that doesn't mean we can't go after them. After all, the biggest criminal settlement payouts to this day are from these vaccine manufacturers, Bayer, Pfizer. We should absorb that. And it still was a very successful business model. That's why they're still in business. So even though they paid out billions, they made boatloads more than they paid out. And it was to our detriment. And we haven't shut them down. What is wrong with us? That's what we should be asking ourselves. Why haven't I done the research? Why haven't I fought this battle that is being waged against our children? Why have we become duped? That should just ramp up the sense of urgency of detoxifying from our childhood vaccine schedule, which is nothing for older folks than what is being ministered to the youngers now. But we need to integrate. I mean, it just makes me... Let's scroll down here. We're going to just have a fun kind of scroll on our profile page here. Where was it? Okay, I'm failing you. Let's continue.
How much has the government paid families whose children were injured by vaccines? A, zero. B, $290 million. C, over $4 billion. The answer is C. Remember, the vaccine makers don't have to pay a dime. Can vaccines cause autoimmune diseases?
Unbelievable.
Yes.
This is a great threat, folks. The bioweapon I'm struggling with, Lyme disease, is amazing at just that. Suppressing your immune system, causing inflammation throughout the body. That leads to a slew of dysfunction and just theft of your life in this existence. It breaks my heart that they've effectively duped us in such a way that we're, under the guise of protecting our children, actually compromising their immune systems.
Here's just a few examples. Type 1 diabetes, a 21% increase between 2001 and 2009 for people under 20. Systemic lupus, the rate has nearly doubled in one generation.
Wow.
Multiple sclerosis, the rate has increased 700%.
It breaks my heart. Do we not care about our children? What are we willing to do about this today?
In 42 years. Crohn's disease, the rate has increased 70% in just one generation. Guillain-Barré syndrome, the rate has almost doubled in 34 years. What's causing the increase? Scientists believe that environmental factors like infections and chemicals are mainly... How can vaccines be dangerous? I was born in 1967. I got all of my shots and I'm fine.
Unbelievable. What a pretty powerful clip right there. Once again, yeah, we played a clip from this POS that actually led to a lot of the pressures and mandates speaking out on it and their manipulation tactics to squeeze us into getting these shots.
So how did you convince him to do it?
I had actually been talking to him about it since even before the vaccine.
Once again, Dr. J, advisor for public health, New York City Mayor Office, 2020 through 21.
were available, I was like, you're going to have to do it this way. And so we came up with this metaphor. We're going to like climb this ladder. We're going to first start voluntarily, and then we're going to keep pushing this.
So the way we do it in public health is we make it very uncomfortable to be unvaccinated. It's like, oh, you can't get a job, you can't go to a restaurant, you can't go to school. It's like, I'm just going to get vaccinated.
So was it technically like kind of forcing you?
Yeah, that's what you force people by making it really uncomfortable. The car comes with seatbelt and airbags. You have to like actively, and it beeps all the time. So you can still drive without a seatbelt, right? The car doesn't shut off, but you know, it beeps all the time.
Right.
That's the seatbelt.
So brilliant.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. The whole idea is.
So this is specifically touching on the manipulation tactics, how they've duped us effectively. But what we even played even more so as far as this individual and the more so demonic degeneracy of this man-child demon and the sex parties and things, like morally, we're taking advice from this individual. When you really uncover things and see the big picture, it's more than alarming as to how effective they've been with us. It's alarming that we've been duped by such demonic individuals. More things are coming, and they even talk on how this is going to manipulate the youngers too, almost in a rebellious sense. Give this a listen. It's unbelievable. Mark of the Beast.
Mark of the Beast is coming. Watch this.
This is a developmental system made by MC10, and it has an antenna and some sensors embedded in it. And what we plan to do is work with them to advance a tattoo that could be used for authentication. It may be true that 10 to 20-year-olds don't want to wear a watch on their wrist, but you can be sure that they'll be far more interested in wearing an electronic tattoo, if only to piss off their parents. I take a vitamin every morning. What if I...
If only to piss off their parents. You see these manipulation tactics? Parents need to stand up. This will lead to everything anti-God. It truly is a mark of the beast. God is everything free agency. How do I even articulate it? He loves us so much. He's allowing all of this. It's hard to grasp. When you feel his love for you, it's like you're blessed with the vision and you get it. I don't know how else to explain it.
I could take vitamin authentication.
What?
This pill has a small chip inside of it with a switch, and it creates an 18-bit ECG-like signal in your body, and essentially your entire body becomes your authentication token.
Look, the Bible tells us this is going to happen. We're on our way there. This isn't a fear tactic. We already know the end. We win. But I'm warning you to make sure that you're walking in righteousness, walking with Christ, walking in the light, and sharing the gospel with as many people as possible.
Bro, thank you. Way to wrap that one up strong. Does this one even matter after playing such profound truth? But we're all being squeezed with the hyperinflation and such. And the shirtless dude holding a beer takes a CNN reporter apart after she suggests he shouldn't care about inflation.
What's your most important issue?
The economy, getting the interest rates down, getting it where we can afford to live in America.
Yeah.
Right now, it's too expensive.
Okay, now let me maybe ask like a slightly impolite question. But, you know, if you can afford a boat, you're not hurting so bad, right? Because a boat costs a lot of money and it's a lot of upkeep.
Listen, nobody gave me shit. I earned everything that I've got. I'm retired military, retired power plant, and I am successful and retired and with boats, jet skis, because I did it right. And everybody has that chance. Whether they choose or not, that's up to them.
I would never try to...
Still, that doesn't negate how inflation is damning to all of us. All of us. It's not discriminating. And it's limiting our funds to do good. It's limiting our bandwidth, our time to even fight back.
To take anything away from you in that way. But what I'm asking is, groceries are probably a smaller part of your budget than, say, someone who's like a little worse off. I think it's interesting that people who are...
So are you indicating he's a problem? He's the one causing the hyperinflation? Like, or are you just seeking to take... It doesn't work that way. Take from him to equal that socialist, commie kind of ideology is very destructive and toxic, and that's not solution-based at all.
A little bit more comfortable are still so concerned about the economy. Did you see what I'm saying?
Because I want my money to go further. I want inflation to go down. I want interest rates to go back down. I want all that. But that covers everybody in the economy.
Everybody.
Not just me, not just the poor, not just the rich. It covers everybody.
Now, something I've heard from some people, tell me if this applies to you, is like they're worried their kids aren't able to afford a house or a car.
Well, I trained my kids and taught my kids properly. They have great educations, and they're both successful in their careers. Actually, they're doing better than me.
Good.
What's your most important issue?
The economy is tanking, folks, intentionally. We do not need to sit idly by and allow all of this. I love the individual that reached out regarding this, but he was stating that the devil was destroyed like 1,000 years ago. It's like, what? No. That type of think is not even... You can see the devil's work running more rampant around us than ever before. And if we can't properly discern, then we're going to fall prey to his tactics. Very powerful. I feel like playing this again. Should we? The devil is very real. Let's do it. Sickens me to start seeing... this is me to start seeing even advertisements about the NFL, kind of the new Coliseum, if you will, of this country, knowing how many individuals are just going to be seeking empty entertainment. And that's what it is. It's not even classified as a sport, folks. It's entertainment. So I thought that was the actual clip. That was a little reel I made of the actual clip. But anyway, that does kind of bring up a whole other point. But yeah, kind of Coliseum tactics. It's no secret when you look into history why they did that. They had a restless people, and they were able to satisfy and get them settled more down through these distractions, and were not acknowledged. And now there's all this demonic things being interjected into these forms of entertainment. I challenge us to more so see what is being done to diminish our light and fulfill what God has in store for us. There's much more to be gained each and every day than tuning into these mindless... It's entertainment. It's not a sport. Intentionally being created to warp your mind. I love every time I come across this footage, and I forward it on every time. So for those under the illusion as though your body, your choice, this is proof of life at conception. It's proof. Scientists cannot explain this away, how this light happens when life happens. It's biblically spoken about. God knitting us in the womb and having plans for us as we're being created. Let's just not be manipulated anymore. It is not more loving. to support this toxic ideology.
So this is the documented moment of conception. And the sperm enters the egg, and there's this poof of light that comes off of it. Scientists are studying this, and they're looking at it, and they're like, okay, well, it looks like it's a release of zinc, a burst of zinc that comes off the egg, and it creates this appearance. But any way you slice it, they can't explain away that light happens when life happens. Isn't that amazing? Light happens when life happens. So this is...
It's so beautiful. Well, it's a scrambled mix today, but what she's touching on shows how our government here is literally weaponized against we the people. And it's more so fulfilling the globalists' orders, the New World Order. These elitists, the ones gathering at Davos. And this is proof. Because criminal invaders that have invaded this country illegally are getting treated better than the citizens of this country or the veterans.
I can tell you personally that when I worked at the grocery store and I cashed them out, the receipts were alarming. $13,000 on EBT food, not including the $29,000 that was on EBT cash. It's infuriating. Yes, sir.
Yes.
So they're not getting 600.
And while they're dressed very well, how are you able to dress like that? Coming over here as running for help that we're supposedly helping them? How are you dressed like that when we, the American people, are scrapping for the next set of work boots? That's a problem. That's a serious problem.
It is a problem. I could pick up my boots right now, the 2 pairs I have with me, and they're starting to talk. The tread's actually separating off of them. It's very real. Okay. But, yeah. Unbelievable, those amounts. It truly is insane. We gotta acknowledge what's going on. It is so corrupt. Wake up, America. Our greatest threats are right here at home. Yes, this poses a threat. This horrific administration, I tell you what. They're intentionally bringing America down. They are the empire of lies. This exposes just that. This is just a glimpse. This doesn't include the aircraft, the tanks, the big missiles. But my jaw just hits the floor. Could you imagine being one of these countries and just like walking into one of these like caches? As a gun lover, this would be a freaking dream. I cannot believe it was not cheaper to abandon all of this to a third world country. This administration, let's not allow it to pull the wool over people's eyes. How is this good for any of us? Cash. These are stacks of $100 bills. I don't even know. That's got to be millions. Millions. Why was this left? This is treasonous. Intentionally. Score. Oh my gosh. Ammo can. Unbelievable. We must be able to see things for like the way they are. I love this guy in the UK, starting to go viral, sings about things he isn't allowed to say on Facebook. The dangers of censorship. Oh my gosh. And he's got a great voice.
The UK's fucked up and there's no one coming over to save me. Elon Musk is trying to beat with Keir Starmer's crazy. All that we want is our borders closed, but all that we got is you Edwards and closed. If I speak my mind, then I am far right. I guess I better pack my bags, cause I'm fucking up over the Poland, where the streets are safe, and you're not here to lock me up in jail over a comment I'll put on Facebook.
That is so powerful. Gosh, the power of a song. We're not just being invaded in this country. This is a world epidemic. This is warfare being engaged by the globalists to diminish. And in the UK, what? They don't really have the arsenal we do as a citizen. Like, it's full tyranny. So many I'm in communication with over there understand that America is the last stand. We allow that level of tyranny to happen here. Their rights start to completely become infringed upon. The ones that aren't in the know, that with the control, that's a thing right there. There's a greater threat happening where they're more effectively censoring in these other countries than they are even here, which is leading people to less acknowledgement to really what's going on. So they're really not becoming effective on pushing back. We are the masses. I challenge the UK, I challenge any country to assemble, to seek truth. Any infringement on this right here, if you're under threat of being thrown in jail over questioning things, over a comment you put on Facebook, that level of tyranny must be addressed right away. This is something I feel is far too effective here in America. What they make you believe you need, desire, want, covet, right here. What you actually need. This would lead to prosperity, generational wealth, achieving the greatest version of yourself, greatest function. Very powerful stuff. We've been manipulated through rap, Hollywood, even entertainment such as sports, athletes, the false idolship. My gosh, it's so demonic. Alexis Lorenz. I need to check her father's Facebook, do an update. So this reads, wait until people find out hospitals murdered patients all over the country with ventilators to collect $48,000 per COVID case. It's like, no, okay, this is great, but it's like, we are not going to wait. We need to push this. Everyone needs to understand this. Everyone needs to stand up against this. And it's not, okay, maybe that's just reference 48,000 regarding the specific vent, but the reality of it is some states were collecting over 400,000 per COVID patient. This was incentivized murder for money. Wake up, America. Worse things are heading our way unless we, in fact, take action now. So true. Coming after our food, all these things. Oh, that was a powerful clip. Okay, here we go. This is very shocking about our invaders This is unbelievable.
They're now giving them jobs as law enforcement officers. That is why I had to drop a bill last week, the Citizen-Only Policing Act, because they are now allowing people under these programs to serve as gun-carrying sworn officers of the law. Keep in mind these.
What? That is such a great threat. We can't even. What? And they want to take your guns away. They are gearing up for different angles of warfare we are not prepared for. We might think we are. What are we doing? Is work real busy today? Like, that we just, I'll show up to vote. I'll do my part. What do we have been so hacked. I don't get it.
People are in the country illegally, and that is what is so crazy to me.
No
and
way.
Another fine point to put on this that everyone should be upset about is that collectively we spend $42 billion of taxpayer money every single year on people in this country who have been brought in through the Harris-Biden regime or have crossed the border illegally. So, as a comparison, homeless veterans only get $3 billion.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, they spending $42 billion and they letting them become police officers? And y'all voting for this administration?
Yeah.
And they don't care because they know that y'all still gonna vote for them? Oh, no way. No way. Now I got to do some research. Y'all got me putting my journalism hat on. That's
journalism
insane.
hat on.
That is absolutely insane.
I like his reaction.
I am blown away. I am 100% blown away. That is crazy.
See, that's someone that has rational thinking skills, probably even a spiritual connection to the right spirits, not the ones masquerading as the right ones. And he wants to put his journalism hat on. He wants to do research. He wants to report more on this. That is doing our part. That is going to lead to more solutions. This isn't rocket scientists, folks. It's just simple calls to action. We should be reaching out to state officials even regarding this particular matter. We're not going to accept any of these illegals to be deputized. Period. If they're not a citizen of this country, no way. No way. Oh, I love that man's spirit. Unbelievable. Whew. This is pretty crazy. Are you mad yet? Is that what it stated? Are we mad yet? Symbolism is overwhelming. The devil is alive and well. And he's built a flock all around us. People willing to sell their souls for fleshly gain in this existence. I get that it can be hard to discern and very attractive to essentially sell your soul for some mortal gain, because after all, we're here now. We feel, smell, taste, touch. But connecting to the spiritual truths of this existence, there is nothing worth selling your soul over in this mortal existence. That flashed so many egregious outcomes that we've just swept under the rug. We haven't even woken up to and shifted the narratives of the true propagandists to the actual truth so we can provide the actual solutions. We must change. To Brad Miller's point, on the podcast with Here and Lucas, history would prove essentially that we're not going to do anything about it. We're just going to continually be put into smaller and smaller cages that, in fact, they will effectively achieve. We'll own nothing and be happy. That we will be hacked animals. That we will be controlled through the technology they said they have that will control the masses. They've also spoke out on genocide. Basically, under the guise of global warming, under the guise of world population, depopulation, but as it stands, the whole world could fit comfortably within the singular country of Australia and be comfortable. So we aren't dealing with overpopulation on this planet in any way, shape, or form. It's a ruse. It's to manipulate us and not fight against. The only thing in my eyes as to why they're doing what they're doing is to achieve a populace more manageable, to secure their positions of power and money and control. Let's not allow this opportunity to slip through our fingers and shift the trajectory of history and hold them accountable. Not let the pandemic be swept under the rug. Not let selections. We need to get back to elections, one person, one vote in this country. We saw what happened in 2020, and the fact of the matter is we haven't instituted enough change to ensure just that, one person, one vote. We haven't. So are we going to be surprised on another selection? Is it then we'll do something? It's far easier to put the proper checks and balances right here, right now. That's another thing we could be reaching out and ensuring all our states do through voter IDs, hand-counted paper ballots, get rid of the freaking Dominion tabulator machines. Congrats to Pfizer for being in business for over 175 years and not curing a single disease. They're not in the business of curing disease, folks. They're in the business of killing, murdering people, individuals and doctors and scientists that actually come out with the cures, buying out all those patents and whatnot and shelving it, and continually providing us Band-Aids. These are the institutions to this day that have achieved the highest criminal settlements, as we've already covered. What are we doing? A country ran by banks will always be in debt. Healthcare run by big pharma will never cure disease. A state run by war will never know peace. A nation run by media will never know the truth. Got to get everyone on Rumble. Yesterday. And if Rumble's corrupted, we got to act quicker, basically overnight, to get on the free speech, because we'll never know truth. We'll never know the actual threats. They will continually become effective. It's disgusting. Well, this man uses colorful language, but my hat's still off to him on actually standing in front of corrupt individuals and calling them out for what in fact they are. And this infringed upon his speech. But let's give this a listen.
When this man was exposing the city council, their feelings got hurt and they tried to arrest him.
Yeah.
Chief Blanchard, you piece of shit.
I'm not going to put up with any defamation of character.
That's not defamation, that's a fact.
I don't care. You're either going to respect this place or you're going to be asked to walk out.
I'm going to be arrested. Fine.
But his lawyer was at the meeting and immediately stepped up.
What I just witnessed was a violation of Mr. Followell's rights. Swear words do not provide probable cause for an arrest for disorderly conduct because the words, as a matter of law, are not fighting words. If I think you, Mr. Mayor, are a tyrant, if I think the city manager is a piece of shit, I can say that. You escort me and I'll sue you as well, Mr. Mayor. Do whatever you want. You're going to arrest me? Oh, you're going to arrest me? Okay, so under the threat of arrest, you just violated my right.
After the meeting, the police chief told him to come back with a lawsuit, so he did.
Last time I was here, Chief Blanchard gave me some advice and I'm finally going to obey. When he said, stop talking and just sue me. Okay, Chief, here we go. These are your lawsuits.
The very institutions that are supposed to uphold law have been weaponized to infringe on our rights and the laws that currently supposed to be in place. Man exposes corrupt politicians in court. Unbelievable. Well, be careful going to rallies in Springfield, Ohio. It's a trap for patriots. They started putting it's like their Antifa tactics, pallets of bricks. It could be another staged Jan 6. There's the actual one. So WikiLeaks, Julie Assange. How do I make that bigger? I can't read it. Unveiled another bombshell Sunday evening, alleging that WikiLeaks now has hard proof that former President Barack Hussein Obama operated and participated in a pedophile ring based in the White House. Once again, these leaders have been so demonic. Of course, evil was gonna gift in this life to an extent of really effectively wearing really effectively wearing sheep's clothing. And to this day, too many people still view Barack Hussein Obama as though he's a sheep. He's been preying on children. There's a lot of proof on this. Is that the type of information we need to dive into to actually expose these demons for what they are? For us to, I mean, at that point, will we do anything? I don't know what it's going to take at this point. RFK talking about COVID-19, targeting Caucasians and black people.
All these microbes, we've put hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted microbes. The Chinese have done the same thing. In fact, COVID-19, there's an argument that it is ethnically targeted. COVID-19 attacks certain races disproportionately.
Yeah.
The races that are most immune to COVID-19 are because of the structure of the genetic structure of genetic differentials among different races of the receptor.
Biowarfare is no joke, folks. What are we waiting for? Oh my gosh, the buses into one of Kamala Harris rallies. Oh wow, is that the shooter? Is that the second shooter right there at a Kamala Harris rally? That's only coincidence, right? Here's where Kamala actually speaks. Vowing to forcibly enter homes. Unbelievable.
Responsible behaviors among everybody in the community, and just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if
you have no right. Where's your warrants? Unbelievable. Full tyranny.
You're being responsible and safe in the way you conduct your affairs.
Have you heard from
responsible?
Without our rights are gone. Americans are under the illusion as though we are living in a free country. Bombshell study warns of self-assembling entities and bodies of COVID vaccinated. Leading researchers in South Korea and Japan have issued a red alert. When are we going to actually see this for what it is and have it abolished and taken off our shelves? It's a bioweapon, folks. You want to see some of the individuals? Now, there is, as we probably all know, pictures of Trump around Epstein. You got to understand the wealthy, and you got to understand. Now, I don't know it all. But what I do know is, Donald himself has commented on, wow, that individual kind of alarming. He likes him young, and it's led to. So, can you really demonize a man for being in those circles? Like, it's inevitable, but ultimately, what led to it doesn't seem there's any actual information that Donald's gone to Epstein's island and things to that nature, and that, from what I found, and that Epstein was actually banned from Mar-a-Lago and other estates. Trump established these other individuals didn't. In fact, quite opposite, like Bill Gates started befriending Epstein after being convicted as a freaking trafficker and pedophile. Anyway, these are it's part of the whole war machine, folks.
The people that were on Epstein Island, confirmed by multiple sources: Bill Clinton, George Mitchell, Alex Baldwin, Ralph Fiennes, George Hamilton, Dustin Hoffman, Kevin Spacey, Liz Hurley, Laura Hutton, Janice Dixon, Naomi Campbell.
I will not falsely idol any of these individuals. In fact, I'm appalled, and I won't support any of their films, past or present. I know some individuals will view, well, maybe they weren't corrupted then, and they're still... No. I'll support companies and individuals, more so like Angel Studios and what they're producing. And if they seem to be futuristically interacting with this machine, then they'll lose my support.
Campbell, Christy Turlington, Henry Kissinger, which may be one of the most evil men on the world.
He is, yeah.
Joan Rivers, Courtney Love, Mick Jagger, Courtney Guest, Phil Collins, Simon LeBon, Charlie Rose of PBS, Richard Branson, Candace Bushel, Tom Ford, Vera Wang, Nadia Byerlin, Co Stark, and here's some more: Seth Green, James Gunn, Dan Schneider, Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks, Stephen Colbert, Kevin Spacey, Kathy Griffin, Oprah Winfrey, Sean Carter, Beyonce Knowles, Anthony Kiedis, John Legend, Christy Teigen, Jim Carrey, Steven Tyler, Ben Affleck, Stephen Collins, Will Ferrell, Eminem, Jeffrey Jones, Victor Salva, Mark Rector, Charlie Sheen, Tyler Grasham, Madonna, Catherine Hudson, Gwen Stefani.
It's a bad one.
Germota, James Franco, Will Smith. Oh, has Will Smith been in the news lately? Justin Rowland, John Cusack, Anderson Cooper, Demi Moore, Brian Affleck, Meryl Streep, Wanda Sykes, Chelsea Handler, Michelle Wolf, Pharrell Williams, Quentin Tarantino, Robert Downey Jr. They are petrified of that list and what those films getting out. They have all the videos of all those people at war.
Really?
Yep.
Should demand transparency.
It's gonna get ugly. They're in panic mode.
So are they going to release those videos, or what do they do with them?
I'm told that, well, it's looking like they're holding it back, that one person has control of that, but I am told other people have them and are going to release them at the right time. So we shall see.
It's egregiously unacceptable to seemingly arrest the most prolific child sex traffickers ever to be known, and not a singular client being exposed or arrested. You could see how our three-letter agencies, our government, is a part of these operations, is a part of the cover-up. We going to allow that evil? It's not just the detriment of the children they're trafficking from other nations. They're preying on our children right here today. This is no joke. Golly. Warning, the monkeypox vaccine is a live, active smallpox pathogen that will make others around you sick and kill you. Your government is trying to kill you. Hashtag bioweapon. Worse things are coming. You know what? That's enough. That's enough from all this. I tell you what. We have great opportunity right here, right now at our feet. Will we seize this moment of opportunity we all have? I pray we do. Once again, I'm so sorry for today's episode. Maybe I ought to change the title, image, and description and everything. Because I failed Chris, I failed you, and I need to do better than that. Let's read from the 1-minute prayers. We're still in real manhood. This states, I am a son. Because you are sons, God sent the Spirit of His Son into your heart, the Spirit who calls out, Abba, Father. So you are no longer a slave, but a son. And since you are a son, God has made you also an heir. Galatians 4:6-7. The prayer reads, how I want to reassemble my heavenly Father. Lord, as you formed man and woman, what did you wish for your children? I want to live a life in a way that pleases you. I want to walk and talk with the grace and wisdom of Abba. Open my eyes to how you... Why am I putting words in there? I tell you what, I'm so human. Open my eyes to how I can be more like you during times of rest, in moments of interaction, and at points of decision. My earthly father has taught me many things. As I continue to grow in my adult life, I look to you to teach me the ways of heaven and holiness. Amen. Jesus is calling. Let's go ahead and answer. We are September 20. Man, this is losing its cover. Might have to try gluing that thing on there. Reads, try to see things more and more from my perspective. Let the light of my presence so fully fill your mind that you view the world through me. What a gift that would be. When little things don't go as you had hoped, like today's episode, look to me lightheartedly and say, oh well, this simple discipline can protect you from being burdened with an accumulation of petty cares and frustrations. That's some powerful equipment and tools for us to implement. We got to cut ourselves some grace. If you practice this diligently, you will make a life-changing discovery. You realize that most of the things that worry you are not important. If you shrug them off immediately and return your focus to me, you will walk through your days with lighter steps and a joyful heart. When serious problems come your way, you will have more reserves for dealing with them. You will not have squandered your energy on petty problems. You may even reach the point where you can agree with the Apostle Paul that all your troubles are light and momentary compared with the eternal glory being achieved by them. Wow. That's a good one to sit and ponder on, even pray about. There's two biblical references. We have Proverbs 20:24 and 2 Corinthians 4:17 through 18. There was some verse finders that jumped out at me today. But the most profound, because we want to sit here and point the finger, we want to worry and complain. Well, there's some biblical references on complain. There's just 3 of them here, but it could help direct us. Bring your complaints to God. Psalm 142, 1 through 2. I would challenge us to entirely hand them over to God. It will lighten our load. He is the only being we can trust entirely with everything. The only being. No mortal. Definitely not the false god. Prince of this world, as Jesus stated. Let's not be duped. Christians should not complain to each other. Yeah, I like that. Philippians 2:14. People complain because they want their own way. Jude 1:16. You know what? Compromise. Right below it. Let's continue through that. Do not compromise your convictions. 1 Kings 11:4. That's a very profound one. Too many Christians around me I see compromising. I'm not casting stones. We just all should seek to do better. I myself included. We cannot compromise the convictions that are gifted to us. They're shown to us by God. Our loving Creator God, not the deceiver. Compromise can be wise. Matthew 5:25. Compromise can divide your loyalty. Matthew 6:24. Wow. Compromise can keep us from doing what is right. That's where we shouldn't compromise on our convictions. Mark 15:15. Compromise can weaken faith. 2 Corinthians 6:14 through 18. Weaken faith in such a way it leads you on a destructive path. Compromise in such a way that it leads to spiritual death and us missing the fulfillment as to why we're here. Individually, I pray we all seek God's will for us on an individual level and fulfill it to the best of our ability. When we start tapping into that, we gain more momentum. We gain more resilience. I see it. I feel it through examples in my life, even with the path I'm currently on. All right. That's a wrap. I look forward to our future guests we have lined up. Stay tuned. Let's build momentum together. Let's kick off the communities. Gain your resilience. Check out Patriot Mobile, folks. They're the only Christian conservative mobile network out there. Up your resilience through checking out Bond Charge products. You're getting 15% off through our affiliation. Masterpiece Tincture. It's a miracle tincture, eradicates heavy metals and forever chemicals that are fogging our stinking brains and holding us back from becoming the best versions of ourselves. If you're in Arizona, you can reach out to Unchained Wellness Clinic or Pure Benefits Aesthetics and Wellness. But let's get prepared. Whether it's through American Reserves and survival food and water filtration systems, they have it all, folks. Check them out. Just simply mention Unmuzzled in your checkout. You'll get an additional 10% off any other discounts you come across. The most singular, important, preparedness I believe we could still do to this day is getting that EMP shield on our vehicles. Ensuring we don't lose our mules. And we can get our families to safe places. It's a big one. You're getting $50 off every single product you order through them. I'm so grateful to pass that savings on to our listeners. If you want to get some Freedom merch, check out Black Eagle Apparel. You're getting 10% off. I think they still have that will feature. Alex is a very gracious man. But if you want to support exclusively Unmuzzled Chat, we got a Muzzled Chat t-shirt up on their webpage. Appreciate any support. We could build the momentum together, folks. Let's do what we can. We should be excited to do just that. If we're not excited, let that sink in. No one in their right mind wouldn't be addressing these poisons, these corruptions. So we've been diminished. It just puts emphasis on gaining our resilience back. Let's not allow evil to be effective on diminishing your light. I want to see the best version of each and every one of you. And I look forward to setting up a more so one-stop shop with more sources that can lead to just that. I feel profoundly that these herb shops, maybe some are better than others, but if you could find an herb shop that also fears God, wow, then hearts are going to be in the right place. But inevitably, a lot of them have been doing things for a long time. They've been researching a lot of things, and they are leading people to breakthroughs with the poisoning of their minds and balancing hormones and nutrition, things of that nature. I mean, when's the last time? I didn't experience much of that throughout my life. It might only be over this last year I've walked into them for the first time. But I did have an overwhelming feeling when I would walk into these facilities, like everything I need is right here. I know it. I feel convicted in that. So let me know if you walk in one. How did that make you feel? Maybe a little overwhelmed? They have a lot of products. Anyway, I love you. God bless you. God bless America. Until next time, take care.